Hi class, my name is Miss D, and I am actually your teacher's youngest daughter. So I go by Miss D, but I'm pretty sure my mom goes as Mrs. DiFrancesco or Mrs. D. And my mom has been sending me so many amazing read-alouds. I think that she's sent them to you too. There was The Golden Domes and Silver Lanterns, a Muslim storybook. There was Santa's Book of Names and Duck Santa. And I think there was one more, 8 Winter Nights. But my favorite out of all of them is Santa's Book of Names, because my mom actually read that story to me when I was little, and I always thought it was so fun to look at all the illustrations and find the letters while she read them. I'm a little jealous that you get to hear stories read by my mom every week, because when I was little, that's what I got to listen to. But it's really nice to be able to share with her stories about my students, because I'm a teacher too, and hear about all of you and how wonderful you guys are. So I thought that I would share something with you today. It's a book called The Snowbear, and it's written by Sean Taylor and Claire Alexander. And here I'll read a little back for you to tell you what it's about. Iggy and Martina made a snowman, but their snowman looked more like a snow bear. "He looks happy to be made," said Martina. And it was true. So let's see, what's this story all about? It's a brand new book. I haven't even read it to my kids yet, so. When Iggy and Martina went to bed, everything was the same as usual. But snow came in the night. Snow. Then more snow. And when Iggy looked out of the window, the whole world was white. I wonder who's sleeping. Their mom told them, "Make a snowman if you want, but be careful, because the hill is too steep and slippery." Martina said, "I'm shivering." Iggy slipped right over because the path was icy. Martina almost slipped over because she was laughing so much. Have you ever had so much fun that you can't stop laughing and then your whole body just has to tumble over? It seems like that's the day they're about to have. They made a snowman, but their snowman looked more like a snow bear. "He looks happy to be made," said Martina. And it was true. "Now let's slide down the hill," said Iggy. "It's too steep and slippery," said Martina. "We can do it," Iggy told her. So now I would be asking my class, do you have any predictions? What do you think will happen? Let's see if you're right. And they did. They slid and bumped even faster than they thought they were going to. The cold wind made their faces tingle. The sledge kept going down the hill and into the trees, into the woods. The air felt even colder. It seemed they were never going to stop. How do you think they're feeling? How would you feel if your sled never stopped? But they did. Nothing moved except for one gray pigeon. "I want to go home," said Martina. "So do I," said Iggy. He got off the sled and tried to pull it back the way they'd come, but Mom was right. It was too steep and too slippery. The pigeon clapped its wings. Then it was gone. Standing between two trees was a wolf. Iggy and Martina looked at it. The wolf looked back. Its eyes were cold as icicles. Then there was a sound. Something was coming. The wolf turned its head. The three of them stared. I wonder who it could be. It was the Snowbear. He was lollipopping down the hill towards them. The wolf backed off. It turned tail, and it was gone. Then the Snowbear picked up the children, it picked up the sled, and it carried them home. "Thank you for helping," Iggy said. But the Snowbear didn't say anything. It just went back to where they'd made it. When Mom came to find them, she asked, "What have you been doing?" "We made a Snowbear," Iggy told her. "And he came alive," said Martina. "He's lovely," Mom smiled, "and he'll take a long time to melt." But the next day, the weather was warm, and the Snowbear wasn't there. "Where is he?" asked Iggy. "He could have melted already," Martina told him. And maybe she was right about that. Or he could have gone back in the woods, and he's alive down there, said Iggy. Wonder if we can spot him. And maybe he was right about that. Now, what evidence do you see that maybe he was right? Maybe Iggy did know that the snow went into the woods. Right, there are some footprints. So I like this story because it reminds me of a story that I grew up watching and reading. Does anyone know what it is? Frosty the Snowman. But this is the Snowbear. It's kind of like, not a retelling, but I feel like the authors and illustrators took Frosty the Snowman and they wrote it to be different, to teach a different lesson or entertain in a different way, which is something you could do. You could take Goldilocks and the Three Bears and write it differently. I know there's lots of different versions of that story. You could do it with the Three Little Pigs. It's easy to do with fairy tales. So, if you would like a writing challenge today, I challenge you to take a holiday story, whether it's about Hanukkah or Christmas or New Year's, whatever it is that you celebrate, and retell it. Say it differently and entertain me and Mrs. DeFrancesco with your writing. I hope that you guys all have a lovely day, and I'm so happy that I got to meet you and to talk with you. Ooh, one last thing. In this story, they call a sled a sledge. Did anyone notice that? And that is because this story is from Germany. And in Germany, that's what they call it, and that's how they spell it. Just trying to find a page to show you where it says it. Here you go. See, it says right here. It picked up the sledge. Funny, huh? I hope you have a great day, and I'm so excited to hear or read your stories.